Alright, let me get situated. Ready for this shit? You boys ready? Let's play our intro.
Not to me.
What's our intro? Some vaporwave shit? Or like...
I was actually thinking vaporwave.
So, let's find some 1995 Mac sounds.
Some slowed down
cowbell
mall music.
Yeah, and then post-capitalist depression. That's what we're rolling with, right?
Nice. Alright. What up, everybody?
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. Welcome to the first episode of the inaugural Pseudoadult cast.
Are we married to that? We're married to that, right?
I asked you guys what you wanted the wording to be.
You guys said you didn't care.
I don't know, man. It just seems like such a fucking lot of work to come up with a brand out of nothing, man.
We are already commoditizing. I have the shirts made and everything.
Well, I guess we'll roll with it. All right, I'm down.
Cool. Right. So I am your host, Joseph Tingloff, one of your co-hosts, actually. I'm sorry.
Taking full credit for the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the second in the co-hosts, Michael Tingloff.
And I'm Nick. What's up, guys?
And we join you on this. What's today? It's
Saturday morning
in the capital bastion of neoliberal freedom in Southern California.
Yeah, recording live from the Pseudoadult studios, which is very high-end shit. We had to suck Steve Bannon's
on a podcast.
We're definitely cursing on this.
Yeah, well, we are. Man, I miss
for the listener, literally half of this is going to be unusable.
Yeah,
because you're basically listening to a live workshop.
You're basically listening to the schizophrenic death ramblings of a bunch of fucking weirdos.
I think a generation of people who have been cast aside.
I think on our Patreon we should have different levels. And level $15 a month, you can hear the unedited version.
Yeah, the more you pay on Patreon, the shittier the quality gets. It's like the fucking Titanic, man. Oh my god, it's gonna be pure dog shit.
God damn.
We'll send you.
I wouldn't pay for this shit.
We'll send you a beer of the week. The beer we're drinking while making the podcast. We'll send to you guys.
We'll actually send you the literal bottles that are empty and used with some stale, skunky shit at the bottom.
If the FBI is listening to this, which in a couple months they no doubtly will be. Nick is not drinking any alcoholic beverages.
Yeah.
He's drinking apple juice.
Apple juice. Hell yeah.
Nick is a pure minor.
Yeah.
He's a refreshing,
a quaint little Puritan Scots-Irish lad. Up to nothing wrong. Just want to go to church tonight.
Hang out with his degenerate friends who are currently drinking Shock Top.
All right. Well,
Shock Top. Brought to you by Shock Top.
This is Shock Top. Please sponsor us.
So fellas, something interesting happened to me.
Let's get into it, man. We've already been fucking rambling,
right?
Saying nothing.
Well, we got 3 minutes of rambles right now.
Oh god.
Is someone keeping tabs?
It's this is actually how Kid Cudi recorded his last album. He literally just sat around and decided to throw a beat over some fucking moans and nonsense with his buddies. Anyways, go ahead, Michael.
So something interesting happened to me this morning.
Okay.
I have this horrible problem of drinking and getting hungover. So last night I had a McFlurry, a large McFlurry. I've never been able to finish a McFlurry, but I was drunk and I was just eating this shit in the back of my Uber. And I wake up this morning and I wasn't hungover.
See, actually, that's there's a scientific reason for that. So McFlurries are 50% formaldehyde. So you're actually going to live to be 300 years old now, and you're just popping in a bottle and hang out with Richard Nixon's head.
Dude, excellent. That's how I was looking to spend my afterlife.
Wait, so what kind of shameful decision brought you to bring yourself to drink a McFlurry, man?
So
what kind of mental state were you in, bro?
Well, we were drinking
it's honestly, we were drinking Modelo. and we were playing this board game called Pandemic. It was like the three of us, like me, Michael, and Matthew, for the listener, that's our little brother, and our friend Mateo, and we just ended up going to McDonald's afterwards.
Was the pandemic of obesity? You guys are going one up for the irony.
The mental virus of Rick and Morty has infected us so much that we all just craved chicken tenders.
If you ever want to be overstimulated at 2 o'clock in the morning, go to McDonald's.
Man, dude,
that's where you should.
2 o'clock in the morning, eating formaldehyde and chicken tendies, man. What a fucking life! Hell yeah.
So my question for you fellas is, do you guys have any weird hangover cures? Because I think I've found mine now. I think I'm going to eat a McFlurry before I go to bed every time I'm really, really
So my number one thing to avoid getting hungover is by living by the word of the prophet and not drinking haram alcohol. Because you're a bunch of fucking Western degenerates.
Oh my god.
You have no value and you're going to fucking go to hell.
I subscribe to the Archer school of hangover cures, which is you just keep drinking, and then you hope that the cumulative hangover when you end up stopping is not enough to kill you.
Yeah, that's why we're buzzed and it's like 7 a.m. It's 7 a.m.
For the listeners,
it's actually 5.
We're peeling the curtain back on this first episode.
The sun's not even up yet.
And I do think in later episodes we should allow listeners to call in at some point.
This isn't a radio show, it's a podcast.
In the day, and let them ask questions on air.
Well, they'll tweet at us.
Yeah, they'll tweet us. All of our fans, all 20,000 of you guys out there, really support it.
Is it an army?
It's more of like a, I don't know.
Brigade. Collective?
I say brigade.
Yeah, brigade. All right, let's talk.
So, just further proof that we're living in a cyberpunk dystopia, and the world is weird.
I thought we were already there.
Oh well, this is more evidence for the fact.
Yeah, we're actually living inside of a Philip K. Dick novel.
William Gibson is currently in the corner, like he just peeked his head out of the closet.
Yeah, he's in the closet wearing a Batman suit. Just got done watching his wife and her lover. He's actually really into that stuff. Same with Philip K. Dick too. Fun fact, all major American authors of the 20th century were giant cuckolds.
It's the most intellectual fetish.
Yeah, it is. It's about voyeurism and the ability to observe and regurgitate art into a book.
Alright, so I don't know how familiar you guys are with malware and the various genres therein.
Completely zero. I opened those emails that say...
Teach me, senpai.
That offer you free money. But yeah, go ahead. Please explain.
Well, basically, there's this type of malware called ransomware, which when you open it...
Big fan. Ransomware is the official malware of the Pseudoadult podcast.
So basically, what ransomware will do is you'll open the program, and it will immediately encrypt every single file on your computer. Like, there's no way to get to it.
Oh, and then you have to pay to get it unlocked,
exactly.
Right?
Usually through Bitcoin, which is like another hassle and a half. I listened to this like Gimlet podcast about someone who had to go through it. It fucking sucks. But I
heard that you actually can trade body pillows of Japanese cartoon girls for Bitcoin.
Oh yeah, they love that shit. That'll eat that up. There's like 10 on the dollar for them.
Fuck, dude, man. Okay, so Pseudo listeners, the exchange rate for body pillow anime girls to Bitcoin is strong. Invest now as the market's rising.
Buy that shit.
Buy that shit.
So yeah, so that's ransomware. Now so this turned out to be a joke, but then it like escaped. There's this thing called Rensemware, and for the listeners, that's spelled RENSEM.
Well, what does the E mean?
Well, it's like an anime thing.
Oh god.
So
God.
So what this does is, when it infects your computer, instead of causing you to pay money to the person who infected your computer,
it causes you to get morbidly obese, masturbate for 12 hours a day, and live
close.
Crusted in semen.
That might be a byproduct of this. Basically, what it will do is it will encrypt your files, and it will not allow you to get them back unless you beat a bullet hell shooter game on the highest difficulty.
That sounds tight as fuck.
You need to get like
hell yeah.
I think it was 2 million score on the insanity difficulty.
Oh my god.
So this was like created as a joke, but apparently it actually got out into the wild, and so the creators had to like real quick like release a bug fix to get people to unencrypt their software.
Holy shit. That's pretty fucking awesome.
I think
Yeah,
we're looking at the new generation of memeage here, where it's not even about just malicious attacks on your files. It's you're just doing it for the lulz, man.
Yeah, man,
Yeah.
it's just some fucking absurd Herculean task to play some Albanian first-person zombie shooter game. I mean, that sounds pretty fucking cool to me. So if you have any Renware, is that what's it called? Rensemware. Any fucking Rensemware, send that shit to me. I want to fucking get fucked up playing Albanian video games.
Now imagine, Donald Trump
Hell yeah.
at the White House, and he gets something on his
Unsecured Android
at
phone.
AOL.com email, and he opens it, and then the new codes are just infected with this shit.
Yeah.
And we have to watch on live TV as he tries to beat this, or we nuke Russia.
Actually, fun fact, not many people know this, but Jared Kushner and Donald Trump actually have Xbox 360 set up in opposite wings of the White House, and they actually discussed national security policy while talking about how they're going to fuck your mom online in a COD lobby. So they actually got this whole idea of sending in small short-range nuclear weapons into Damascus after some special operations soldier gets 25 kills. It's actually a scientific fact. There's historical proof for this, man.
I think we just discovered a way to completely cripple the U.S. government is to force Donald Trump to play Dance Dance Revolution, because there was no possible way.
Because he's fat as fuck and he's gonna have a heart attack and die and be fucking governed by Mike Pence.
He's a goddamn geriatric who forgets to sign executive orders halfway through a goddamn meeting.
Look, I'm completely convinced that his aides have now taped guiding sticks to his side so he can walk around the White House tweeting and just bump into things and just kind of avoid them and swerving down these hallways.
Yeah, he actually has to have bumpers strapped to the front of his fupa so that way he doesn't injure himself when he wanders into a wall. He's actually one of those fucking what's it called, Roombas? The fucking
Roomba.
Just fucking wanders around the fucking White House like a Roomba, fucking muttering about globalists.
This has a vacuum to the back of his legs.
Yeah,
and he vacuums the rugs of the White House.
Actually, going off of that, he's not a globalist. He's with the globalists.
Oh, true.
Haven't you heard?
He is with the globalists.
He's completely turned 180. He's denounced the alt-right. He's in bed with the globalists.
Yeah, I want to talk briefly about the dramatic civil war that's erupting in the White House between Jared Kushner, aka the Cuckservatives and globalists, and the patriot nationalist Aryan warrior that is Steve Bannon.
So now for my clarification. Kushner is
he is the son-in-law,
right? And he's married to
Ivanka Trump, which is Trump's daughter.
Yeah, he's basically some fucking 30-year-old Democrat muppet who got drafted into the Trump White House because he hooked up with Ivanka Trump at Harvard after his dad fucking had to support
his only claim to fame at this point is the fact that but also that he spearheaded the single most expensive purchase of a single building in all of U.S. history.
I swear to God, I read this fucking article. He was literally either in the process of buying or selling some fucking property at
666 Avenue in New York.
Yeah, it's some fucking Chinese entrepreneurs. So this is actually further proof that the globalists are in fact Satan, because Jared Kushner is buying up every property at 666 addresses. So if you live at a 666 address, I highly recommend you to hit up Jared Kushner. He'll buy up your property. He can make some nice pentagrams on the wall or bring in some goats. It's going to be fucking tight.
They'll do a lot of spirit cooking. It's going to involve semen and blood.
Semen, blood, piss. It's going to be fucking tight.
But
we got Kushner on one side, and we got Bannon. Was that the other one?
Steve Bannon,
chief
strategist.
He's the strategist, but he got kicked off the NSA recently.
National Security Council, which is basically
NSC.
It's basically
the cousin to NSA.
Yeah, it's basically the really elite fucking drinking club where they just sit around and talk about which random Yemeni 16-year-old they're going to hit in the dick with the fucking Tomahawk missile on a given day.
Guys, is a Tomahawk missile cultural appropriation?
I don't know. It sounds like it to me. I think it's really time that we do better and find a new name for the Tomahawk missile.
I think we should do that after we tomahawk the Indians. I think we should wait until the Dakota pipeline gets to the point where we have to missile the protesters. Mm-hmm. and then we should probably change the name. Because
Actually,
that would be the ultimate form of irony.
that's completely necessary. All we have to do is bring them some Pepsi. And then if we start just pumping Pepsi through the Dakota pipeline, I swear to God,
it'll work better than like the Iron Dome. It's just like a wall of Pepsi.
All white Americans will get on the boats, they'll head back away. Hiawatha's gonna come back from the dead, lead the Iroquois Confederacy. It's gonna be fucking tight. Decolonize America. # kill Whitey.
Kick out all the immigrants.
It's fucking time. We've had enough time here. Like, we kind of did our thing, and we need a balance.
The experiment's over.
It's already a failure.
I want to know which analyst was like, yo, on top of this whole idea that we should incorporate the Black Lives Movement, the protest movement, political movement into our commercial, let's put a Kardashian as the face of this commercial.
I don't know enough about these celebrity
She is a Kardashian.
Habsburg families.
She does count as a Kardashian, I guess.
You motherfucker, she's a Kardashian.
Okay,
She's a Kardashian? Okay.
Alright.
I thought I was going to be the pop culture expert.
Fuck off.
Listeners, it's just me and Michael at this point.
So Joe,
Nick is in the bathroom.
what is this break brought to you by?
This break is brought to you by Chairs. Chairs. They deal with our bullshit and our butts.
Chairs.
Chairs. Brought to you by Chairs.
Also brought to you by MacBooks. MacBooks.
How do they work?
Advertising to the school community that you don't understand how computers work. So you'll just leave it up to the $1,400 piece of equipment you bought that runs at half my computer's speed. Pussy ass bitches.
PC Master Race.
PC Master Race.
We talked about the fact that
PC Master Race.
Apple thought for sure, like 4 years ago, that there would be an iPad in the hand of every college student. Like, tablet was going to be the next big-ass thing.
Didn't Apple come out recently saying that they were they fucked up on the new iMac designs?
Yeah, the iMac Pro, or what's the laptop called? I don't even know. They're naming conventions with their new products. Like, ever since Steve Jobs died...
It's iJobs.
It's an iJob. Ever since fucking Steve Jobs died, Apple has just been, like, tripping over their own dick trying to find a next big thing. But yeah, they did come out and say that, like, they fucked up with their laptop because it's, like, not as powerful as, like, anyone who actually uses an iMac needs it to be. And got rid of every single port because, like, USB-C is going to be the next big thing.
What's a USB-C? Is it related to HSBC?
USB-C is basically supposed to be the new golden boy of, like, the standards race.
Oh, fuck yeah. I love golden boys.
Basically, it's, like, faster than it's, like, the next version of USB. It's, like, faster. You can charge a device as well as get information for it at the same time.
Does it upload the suffering and perpetual misery of a Chinese slave laborer in Tianjin province?
I think they're working on that in the next version.
Okay.
Yeah, the one that you, like, jack straight into, like, your synapses in the base of your skull.
Oh, fuck yeah, man. Let's get Avatar. Let's get freaky. We can hook up with, like, fucking trees. We can, like, bang fucking, like, tree people through their antennas and their hair. It's gonna be tight.
We're gonna call that the iPhone XXL because it's like the
not related to the Keystone XL pipeline.
Exactly, it's the elongated dong of capitalism just inserting itself straight into your central lobe.
So, I have an article that I want to share with you guys. So, it's pretty fucking tight. It's an actual political scientist talking about the real causes behind the decline of America and why...
Obesity.
Yeah, and why we're letting the fucking Hamburglar make it great again. Alright, so bear with me, folks. This article is by Hans Feine on the Federalist. Description for him is a Lutheran pastor in Illinois and the creator of Lutheran satire, which can only...
Lutheran satire.
Lutheran satire. I can only assume it's fucking hilarious. A series of comical videos intended to teach the Lutheran faith. Alright, so the article is titled, Why Men and Women Can Never Be Just Friends. To destroy the friend zone, women must accept the following truths. You don't have any guy friends, and in fact, you don't have any guy friends. So this is like just like a little
starting out pretty good.
It's starting out pretty good. It's a nice little prelude into the fucking masterful prose that's about to come along. Alright, the latest numbers on American birth rates are in, and they yield only one reasonable conclusion. All of us need to start having more babies, or else the upcoming demographic tsunami will consume our nation. So let's
oh my god, there's going to be brown people everywhere.
There's going to be so many minorities, it's going to be like a literal fucking tsunami. So
they're
already...
going to treat us exactly the way we treated them.
Yeah,
it's going to be awful.
Hashtag white genocide, hashtag Hans Feine, it's going to get fucking lit. Will consume our nation, cripple our social programs, and leave us with a future so bleak that our only source of joy will be the moment we're chosen to receive the sweet fatal kiss of the Obamacare death panels, the Trump care firing squads, or the Oprah care hemlock squadrons.
Jesus Christ. You hear it here, folks. Right. If you see a brown person move into your neighborhood, the only choice is immediate suicide.
Yeah, one sentence in, how fucking reactionary is this fucking dope, alright?
I would say 10 out of 10.
Yeah, remember, folks, the reason why America needs to become great again is because there's too many poor people.
And they clearly don't want jobs.
Yeah, I heard, like, in the 1920s, they had this thing where they're trying to fix America by getting rid of poor people. They would, like, castrate them and shit like that.
I have to say, it sounds like this guy just didn't get laid in college.
Yeah, okay, we'll get to that. It's clearly obvious this guy has literally never touched a vagina, but we'll get there. Alright. Perhaps I'm overstating the danger a bit. So
he's walking it back.
Yeah, remember, like, we went through 8 years of Obama.
At least he's being rational.
Now we have, mosques on every street corner, but there are no death panels. There are no death panels. The Trump care firing squads, I can only assume, are about to come around and line up any union members, and then the Oprah care hemlock squadrons, Oprah 2020, you heard it here
first. Is Oprah still a thing?
I was about to say that.
I think she is.
I know she has her own gravitational pull, and, like, she has her own, like, rotating viewers, but I did not know she still dominates social media.
I mean, that goes into the whole, like, social media creates artificial bubbles of people, and then, like, no one's listening to anybody else.
Hyper-normalization!
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead.
Alright. Perhaps I'm overstating the danger a bit, but the point remains. Americans need to raise our sagging birth rates. One of the best ways...
When he says Americans, he means white Americans.
Yeah, he means white people. When he says Americans, he's clearly meaning white, Anglo-Saxon, Lutheran, property-owning males.
The WASPs.
Yeah, the WASPs. Americans need to raise our sagging birth rates. One of the best ways we can do so is by reversing the trend of Americans waiting longer to get married. So apart from tearing down America's institutions of higher education, so let's give him some credit. He doesn't want to just ban women from going to school. This guy's clearly a visionary progressive.
He wants to lower tuition.
All right. So apart from tearing down America's institutions of higher education, which tend to slow down the recitation of wedding vows, how do we do that? It's quite simple, folks. We tear down the friend zone.
This guy.
We're assaulting the walls of the friend zones. The trebuchets are lined up. We're going in like balls to the wall.
Oh my god. It's fucking great. Like, you can actually sense how dry this guy's fucking dick is. Like, through the fucking screen of the computer. Every year, countless young men find themselves trapped in the friend zone, a prison where women place any man they deem worthy of their time, but not their hearts. Men love to have dinner with, but for whatever reason, don't want to kiss goodnight. So I think we can extrapolate a couple of key points from here. Number one, Hans Feine has literally never been on a date with anybody. He's probably still living at home in his Lutheran Build-A-Bear workshop fucking race car bed. And it's fucking actually astonishing, like, that people are still such fucking Volcel losers that they're willing to project all their problems to the imaginary friend zone. Like, bro, fucking, you're not entitled to shit. You're not entitled to get in anyone's pants. Eat a fucking dick and stop complaining.
He's basically just... He is very self-conscious. I think he's very self-conscious about his dick size. And he's trying to find someone to offload it onto. So
yeah, of course.
What better is the opposite gender
Yeah,
It's like the social contract clearly dictates that I paid for a $50 dinner, so therefore I am entitled to some kind of intercourse. Why aren't you providing?
Yeah, I think this is actually a fucking great article because it touches on so many fucking loser white nationalist fucking tropes. Like, demographic tsunami. Like, okay, so the reason that we're gonna have too many brown people is because Becky next door won't have sex with me. I'm entitled to procreate with her and create white children to propagate the demographics of America that made it great once before.
I think he's just mad that he's getting cucked out by other ethnicities.
Yeah, no, he clearly goes on 4chan.
Or what he thinks, but like in reality, it's probably like other white people who like actually have a personality.
Or he just has a neck beard.
Yeah, remember, if you're a guy and you're not having sex, an absolute fact is that it's not because you're a loser who plays Call of Duty for fucking 12 hours a day. It's actually because women are trying to abuse your friendship. Holy shit. Yeah, so the long and short of this article is that if Hans Feine wants to continue seeing his hashtag White America, I mean, the thing is, too, is like, fucking Hans Feine is such a fucking sexist fucking dope that he literally doesn't even want women to have any fucking agency over their own bodies. And like, if you like buy a girl a fucking Pop-Tart and like a fucking Capri Sun, she's actually she's supposed to like fucking
she's exploiting you.
Yeah, her loins are supposed to be frothing, just craving you because you provided her some fucking caribou or some other fucking weird
we need to get this
caveman shit.
We need to get some contact information for this guy, and then we'll have our listeners
contact something he's never had with a female his entire life.
Just send in your best dick pics to this guy. Yeah. I think he'd appreciate it.
Yeah, he's at Hans Feine.
At Hans Feine.
Yeah, actually,
Hans suck me at Gmail.
Yeah, hansfeine.boypussy.com.
Alright, welcome back, guys. We got Nick still with us, Joe's still with us, and we're gonna plunge right in back on to more topics. Go ahead, Joe. Take it away.
So, I'm gonna get a little meta here on our first episode.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna deconstruct the literal title of this podcast.
Alright, let's do it.
So, this is a narrative that the baby boomers like to, that I've always kind of like railed against and is honestly pisses me off to no end, is the fact that the baby boomers push this narrative that the millennial generation is like this entitled, self-obsessed, like cohort of like roving bands of
It's true. It's true.
I mean, we invented the internet.
Yeah, no, it's actually completely true. Back when I was in the 50s, I'm actually like very old. So back in the 50s,
Nick is actually a 65-year-old man that decided to join us, but he had his balls snipped, so his voice sounds incredibly shrill.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
He's a eunuch.
Yeah, I'm a eunuch. So basically, fucking when it was like 1960, I worked 10 hours a week at my union janitorial job. That was enough money to buy a house when I was 17 years old. I also put myself through college thrice. As well as my entire children, and my wife obviously didn't work because
she belongs at home.
Yeah.
She basically incubates your young. And that's
yeah. She's like a fucking velociraptor.
How was it to watch the communist bastards be bombed to shit?
Oh, it's fucking glorious. Yeah.
Right. It's beautiful.
Hell yeah.
This narrative is obviously completely reactionary and deeply offensive, considering the baby boomers have completely crippled the economy for this generation.
Oh yeah, right.
We
literally have no future. The title Pseudoadults, I'm curious with the lads. Do you feel like the idea of the pseudo-adult, the person who is of age and yet has no idea of how respond ideology.
Do you know what causes the friend zone?
Oh, you're completely right, man.
If you
like legislation to protect us.
If you break it down, pseudo-adult basically means that like you are of age and yet you have no idea how responsibilities work, or you have no idea how to fend for yourself in like the real world. Do you feel this feeds into the narrative that the baby boomers like to.
I've been musing
total
over
around.
this, and I think I've come to the conclusion that everyone goes through this. So we all know that adults are just kids that just really don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah.
But-
They're just better at hiding it.
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
our parents, like back in the 80s, 90s, they were going through the exact same thing, but they didn't have the internet to share it. So they thought it was just kind of like a singularity kind of event. It was just them by themselves, and everyone else knew what they were doing. I think that because of the internet and because we can share ideas, it's a collective experience, and we just are more aware of it now.
This is exactly why I became Amish. Was I didn't have to deal with some fucking loser 20-year-old complaining, $100,000 in student debt, can't get a job because the economy's shit.
I can't afford a house.
I'll never be able to buy a house. The government's a bunch of fucking reptiles.
I'm still using my parents' Netflix account because
Yeah.
I can't pay for basic
Yeah,
amenities.
yeah. Thanks, Generation Me. Yeah, fucking selfish. Come on.
I mean, wait a
But
second.
if we
gentlemen.
didn't have participation trophies, we'd all be out there in the factories.
I want to just propose like a simple counterfactual that's gonna fucking shut you guys up. Markets.
Markets.
Yeah.
and
So
means testing.
yeah, markets means yeah. So if there is a hypothetical free market, which there is, for college education, if you come out of that market with $3 billion in student debt, it's clearly because you chose a shit degree like fucking I don't know, like Mesopotamian fucking skateboarding culture. That's clearly on you. That's your fault because of the free market. Same with housing. Like if you can't afford a house, just live in, I don't know, like fucking some shack in Alaska where you have to poop in an outhouse.
I'm honestly curious. People who get liberal arts degrees. Now, I think art is incredibly important to culture.
Dude, that's not what fucking liberal arts is.
Well, I mean, if you're coming out with if you major in arts,
Sure.
Right.
what are you possibly thinking? The government's saying that your degree is fucking worthless.
Well, they're also saying that you're not entitled
Shit about you.
to clean water and housing.
Well, remember, the people that actually do get degrees in art and art history are fucking bougie as fuck and can actually afford to live at home. and yeah.
They're like, I don't need to worry about having my labor exploited because I can just throw some paint at a wall and then put it up in my father's art museum.
Yeah, and if worse comes to worse, you can just fucking move to Tangier and smoke hashish with Tennessee Williams and just do that all day.
Switching gears for a sec. All right, so I know. I don't know if you guys have heard, but we recently attacked Syria.
Yeah, I'm glad we're talking about this because
Our policy has not changed towards Syria at all. This is just completely in retaliation.
So my question to you lads is, when Russia jumps on and goes after United States troops, where are you guys gonna go when the draft happens? I for one, my plan is to go to Canada. I'm gonna go to Canada and draft dodge in Canada.
well, I'm not a fucking Western degenerate, so I'm gonna gear up for nationalism and go get fucking my legs blown off in Damascus like any proper fucking 20-year-old male should be doing.
According to the Trump University and their draft dodging course, all I need to do is say I have flat foot and I have ankle shingles, and apparently they'll just fly right over you.
Yeah, this podcast is brought to you by Trump University. They offer 3 degrees. There are winning, draft dodging, and phrenology. I just want to briefly kind of talk about how fucking stupid our fucking intervention into Syria is. So, all right, obviously Bashar al-Assad, major fucking dickhead, like fucking using chemical weapons against his own people, been fucking responsible. Well, not maybe him specifically, but, you know.
Yeah, I mean, in past cases, I think we're pretty clear it was him, but in this case,
it was pretty clearly him. Like, his story's fucking bullshit. Like, he said that, like, we hit an ammo depot that had some Syrian in it. And
dude, the rebels, not our fault. They're just they were leaving their chemical weapons just lying on the ground, and we just happened to hit it with our bombs.
Yeah. So let's talk about how fucking stupid of an idea this is. So obviously, America being the humanitarian fucking saints that we are, we're only doing this strictly for the purpose of humanitarian needs to save Syrians, not because Syria's been a thorn in our side in foreign policy for the past 30 years. So I have some questions as to what the fucking point is of this, if we're doing this to save some Syrians, right? Okay, so
the point is freedom. They hate our freedom.
Yeah, true. They hate us for our freedom, man.
So, all
right, let's say we actually do decide to follow through with what Rex Tillerson is talking about, where we're actually going to form a coalition to actually not just, like, you know, throw some fucking Tomahawk missiles at an empty airfield, but actually try and, like, invade and depose Assad, and how fucking stupid that would be. So, what are we gonna do to, like, save lives? Okay, so first we have to fucking worry about taking out all of fucking Syria's S-400 air defenses, which is gonna be a bitch and a half, right? So you're just gonna be bombing the shit out of civilian populated areas in Baghdad, just like in fucking 2003, which obviously went spectacularly from a humanitarian perspective and from the perspective of saving lives. Then what? You're going to invade Syria, right? To fucking kick out Assad and root out all the SAA, right? So you know how many fucking tens of thousands of Syrians are gonna get killed in that? Okay, so bear with me. We're just going to go through some steps here. This is clearly not going to be an easy process. Okay?
This is the 5-year plan.
Yeah, this is the 5-year plan to round it off to an even million dead in the Syrian civil war.
Have you emailed this plan to Trump yet?
No, actually I haven't. Jared Kushner unfriended me on Xbox Live. So, the biggest thing. Okay, so obviously, the U.S. could raffle stomp the SAA and Assad's military.
I don't know, dude. Have you seen their rocket propelled grenades? That technology is light years ahead of ours.
I saw some videos. There were some masked gentlemen with the butcher knife and some heads on the ground. Anyways, so, okay, let's say this fucking whole plan works, right? Let's say this coalition comes together. We start bombing the shit out of Bashar al-Assad and this Syrian Arab army. What are you gonna do when they capitulate? You think they're just gonna fucking, like, disappear? No, it's gonna be like the fucking when the Ba'ath Party just collapses a conventional military force in Iraq in 2003. They're just gonna come together as a fucking insurgency. Okay, so now you've massacred tens of thousands of Syrians. Okay, yeah, it was American bombs. Good fucking job. At least it wasn't the Russians that were killing these people. You know, like, fucking hell yeah. So you're gonna be fighting a Ba'ath insurgency, which is what fucking caused a civil war in Iraq, which killed 500,000 people, because de-Baathification was a fucking joke in Iraq, because surprisingly enough, you can't just roll in, wave your dick on the fucking risk table, and expect to ban all civil services, fucking the police, hospitals,
Wait.
military.
That is how I win board game nights. I roll up, throw my dick on the table, and that's it.
The collector's edition, fucking Saints Row, giant purple dildo.
Yeah, giant purple dildos. That's actually the preferred weaponry of Hezbollah in Syria.
The Chechen snipers are just waving that shit around.
Yeah.
Alright, so now, if I may, are you through?
No, I'm not done, but go ahead.
Alright. Assad gassed children.
Yeah.
Right?
Fucking horrible.
It's fucking horrible. No one is going to go in there and say you can't do this besides the United States.
So, okay, I have a question. How many more people, A, would die in an American invasion? And B, something to consider, okay? The fucking war is almost over, right?
Yes.
The
only people they're fighting is the ISIS.
You have fucking Tahrir al-Sham, fucking ISIS, and like maybe like 2 fucking like not terrorist military officers that are still squaring off with the Syrian army, right? So what's your fucking endgame, man? Like, you're gonna roll in, you're gonna say, okay, actually, I know the government and Hezbollah and Russia are gonna end the war in 6 months to a year anyways, but what's actually better is for the Syrian civil war to go on for another 5 years with American troops on the ground, where the Ba'ath Party is fucking dismantled and waging an insurgency, where we destroy the force that was most capable of defeating Tahrir al-Sham and ISIS. I mean, what's the fucking point, man? Like,
alright, so, okay. So to your point, yes, you know, it was close to ending, but look, Assad used these weapons, and we, as an entire globe, came together and said, "You cannot do this."
Hold on, an entire globe. It was literally
it was NATO.
Okay. you can't use chemical weapons. It's fucked up.
So what's the point? So we're gonna roll in. We'll be like, hey, Syria. So another 500,000 of you guys are gonna die, but it's because the dictator that you were just fighting against used chemical weapons. So actually, even though the war could be over, it's not going to be, and it's actually for you.
You're looking towards the future, and if Assad is using the weapons now, what's gonna stop him from using more chemical weapons in the future?
Probably nothing. But I mean, look, okay.
You're talking about kids that were gassed to death.
Well, does it really matter if a kid dies in a gas attack or if he dies in an airstrike? I mean, you're still talking about murdering children.
No,
who cares if it's the fucking Syrian government? Who cares if the fucking Americans? It's fucking awful.
We're talking about the morality of this. One is asphyxiation, which fucking sucks. You're dying.
And the other one's explosion.
The other one's instantaneous by freedom.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
Rocket propelled freedom straight to the abdomen.
Yeah. So my whole thing, my devil's advocate here is that Assad used these horrible weapons on innocent people, and no one else was going to go in and stop him. So as far as I think I agree 100%. This is imperialistic. We are forwarding our own interests. The only reason why we are getting involved is because Russia has expressed interest in this region. We are going in as well. But I also think that there is some sort of justice to going into Syria and stopping Assad.
See, okay, but stopping Assad. So what does stopping Assad actually accomplish then? So unless the U.S.
Future use of these weapons.
Future use of the weapons. Okay, so we're going to stop Assad, prevent him from using chemical weapons in the future. Great. But in the meantime, before looking at that long-term future of, a chemical weapons-free world, what are we going to do? We're going to stop the force that is about to stop Al-Qaeda and ISIS from taking over Syria.
Oh, let's not go too far there. They can barely get their own fucking shit together.
No. Okay. Maybe not the Syrian army in particular, but in combination with Hezbollah, Russian airstrikes, they're going to fucking win the war.
Oh, well, yeah, they'll move them out of Syria, but now we got, they're still in Iraq.
We're still going to have it, which ties into my previous point, which is that, okay, where did ISIS fucking come from? Where did all these fucking Salafist organizations come from? It came from
the last time we did this.
It came from the anarchy caused by the last time debathification fucking shit itself because it's a fucking stupid plan. So, moving on from, the fact that you're going to have to kill thousands of Syrians in airstrikes, kill thousands of more Syrian civilians in a land invasion, launch an insurgency of the SAA against American forces, which is going to kill thousands of more people, including giving more time to regroup and expand for the fucking terrorist organizations in Syria. Now what? So you're going to have to start fucking bombing Hezbollah too, right? Like, Hezbollah is really the ones that are actually, carrying the fucking bulk of the Assad government's attacks into the fucking Tariq Sham and ISIS territories, right?
So you bomb Hezbollah is Lebanon?
It's Iranian run. They run the countryside of Hezbollah. Okay. So what happens when you bomb them, right? What the fuck else are you going to do other than by launching attacks into Israel? I mean, it's a fucking textbook play. Think about Saddam Hussein in 1991.
Wait.
Think about Saddam Hussein in 1991, man. What's the number one way to defeat an Arab coalition with Westerners? It's by fucking getting Israel into the fight. If you're going to depose Assad, you have to fucking take out Hezbollah too.
Okay.
What's Hezbollah going to do other than try and drag Israel into the conflict, which is going to make it even much of a fucking more of a shit-a-can. And then there's the question of Russia too. Russia's already pledged to expand the Syrian air defenses in Syria. There's already fucking Russian soldiers on the ground. There's Russian soldiers at the fucking base you already bombed. There's no way that this is going to possibly defuse the situation, right? If we just let Hezbollah and Russia and the fucking shit stain on humanity that is Bashar al-Assad and his government, if we let them end the war, less people are going to die than if we invade, bomb more civilians, start an insurgency, probably bring Israel into the fold, and then also risk provoking Russia even further.
There's one aspect you're not considering, though.
What?
The fact that we informed the Russians before we bombed them.
Oh, true.
Clearly, that makes Trump a puppet of the Russian government.
Can you imagine the shitstorm that would happen if, let's say, in some fucking CIA base in Pakistan, right? Imagine what would happen if fucking Russian bombers just roll through, or give us 20 seconds head notice, or 20 minutes head notice, hey, we're going to come through and bomb Taliban forces on your airbase. All right, later, bro. Can you imagine what the fuck would happen if some fucking Tupolevs roll through and fucking Johnny fucking Grunt is running to the air raid shelters?
Choke on his Cheetos he's currently eating.
Yeah, he would choke on his Cheetos, choke on his pretzel. Dick Cheney would
I would pay money to hear the message. I'd pay money to hear the message Trump left on Putin's answering machine. Putin, we're going to missile the base. You should move your troops out of there, man.
Like, hey, listen, Putin, honey buns. I know we've been super tight this whole time, but listen, these rebels have gotten out of control. They've gassed children. At least that's what Fox and Friends tell me. It's a great show, by the way. You really should tune in. Anyway, I know you got some guys on the base. We're gonna be doing a quick little airstrike. You might want to get them underground. Hey, later, I'll see you for golf the other day.
Hell yeah. Yeah, it's like, the thing that I really, really cannot get my fucking head around is, like, how anybody can fucking believe that this is a humanitarian operation.
Do
Like,
people actually think that?
well, yeah, I mean, look at Nikki Haley in the fucking UN. She's, like, making a fool of herself, like, oh, well, actually, we're just doing this to save Syrians. Like, no, we had an opportunity in, like, 2012 to take out Assad, put in the FSA before it became a fucking Salafist puppet show. And actually, end the civil war before it got out of hand. We fucking didn't do it because we failed miserably by trying to depose Muammar Gaddafi in Libya. And now we're trying to roll in, after 500,000 people already dead, just prolong the civil war for who even fucking knows how much longer. And say we're doing it out of our fucking empathy and solidarity with the Syrian people. It's nonsense. Nobody can clearly believe that.
It feels like the shit that, like, movies pull all the time, where, like, you have, like, your fucking, like, your rising action, and you have the climax of the movie, and then you think everything's all resolved.
Yeah, and it's like, just kidding, airstrikes.
Just kidding, we have an entire, like, 20 to hour-long portion of the movie still left to go.
Yeah.
That's the only way they're ever going to sell this war to the American people, if they convince them that we're going in to save other people.
Well, that's a fucking lie, and it's stupid. I mean, the best thing that can possibly happen in the Syrian civil war is for it to fucking end as soon as possible. Deal with Assad later. There's already fucking enough people dying. Like, if you take out Bashar al-Assad, his fucking...
hold up now. Are you being an incrementalist right now?
Yeah, incrementalism for life. Bernie was a traitor. It's a shit plan. This won't help anybody. It's just gonna get more people killed. We're fucking doing this because the Assads have been a thorn in our foreign policy ever since the 1980s. Don't fucking believe the hype. It's fucking stupid.
Listeners, it's just me and Nick now. I feel bad for whoever has to edit the podcast.
Not it.
Has to go through about, at this point, 21 minutes of unadulterated garbage.
Yeah, whatever we end up putting out, I just want to let you guys know that there was at least an extra 3 hours of us just
we've been
sitting around, just talking about fucking, like, memes.
Like, we've started at 7, as we said before. It is now around 12 o'clock at midday.
In the morning. 12 in the morning. We've been doing this for 15 hours straight. Just been buzzing.
We actually have no idea what day it is at this point.
Oh yeah.
The sun has moved several times across the sky. Or those just could be like Trump brand warplanes. We don't know. We're near a military base after all. Nick, what's this break brought to you by?
This break is brought to you by Hans Feine at the Federalist. Fantastic journalism. Alpha male, high virility, high T, high energy.
He's got some supplements he's shilling out.
Yeah, he's got some supplements. He highly advocates the use of, I believe it was Oprah Care Hemlock. He's a big fan.
This podcast is brought to you by wolves. Fucking timberwolves eating the young of people that cannot survive. Timberwolves. Protecting the genome of the human race since BC 1300.
The ultimate means test is the Timberwolves.
Special shout out to our roommate Dennison. We are currently using his room for the sound room.
It's not true.
He's a liar. That's
professional studio.
Professional studio that partially owned by Denison.
So we have our first
50%.
our first
50%.
leaker of the podcast. Don't listen to anything he says. He's
a Russian spy.
clearly a false flag operation. We are recording in a gold-plated studio.
Yeah, it's actually desinformatia. Denison has compromat on Donald Trump. He's a Russian agent.
Kill him now.
I got one last topic
Alright.
that we can get into.
Let's do it.
I feel like the most important thing we need to talk about as pseudo-leftist podcast currently coming out, I assume within the week of our first episode.
We're actually a CIA psyop spreading desinformatia.
At this point, we'll at least have one CIA operative on within a couple months.
You are all being tracked right now for listening to this podcast. Just letting you know, it's in our terms and services. You agreed by listening.
Yeah,
by
it's
the way.
at the bottom.
Operation Weeping Angel has already infected your computer.
It's at the bottom of the Patreon agreement when you sign up to pay our $10,000 a month.
I was gonna say, speaking of our Patreon, we need to improve the quality of our microphones. So if you don't want to be raped in the ear every week by this podcast, please donate so we can get microphones.
Yes.
Right. Agreed.
Go
So,
Joe.
Bernie Sanders.
Yeah.
The complicated
drug.
relationship of the entire leftist movement in America.
He's like the Judas of the Democrats, and like the guy that actually turned out to not be as fucking tight for like the leftists in America.
He killed Rosa Luxemburg.
He
Let's
killed
get that
Rosa
out of the way.
Luxemburg and Jesus, and most importantly, Hillary Clinton.
I'm still with her. To be honest.
I gotta give Bernie credit. He was my gateway drug.
He was most people's gateway
Yeah.
drug, but therein lies the complicated relationship most people have with Bernie
gateway
Sanders.
All right,
So-
what do you got?
Well, I mean, the obvious thing, if you've been listening to leftist Twitter, is the fact that he has a podcast.
Yeah, he's
now.
starting his own fucking podcast. He's actually going to be on our show next week. Bernard Sanders is going to
fourth episode of the hot take. What do you guys think of the Bernie Show as the title of his podcast?
I think it's pretty great.
Sure.
It's sticking to the brand that got him famous, which is above all sexism, racism, and white working class politics.
So are we seeing a Bernie 2020 platform right now?
No,
He's gonna be dead by
He's so old.
Yeah.
Man, I don't know. I mean,
He's,
how because Trump's 70. How
I
old
think
is Bernie?
Bernie's like 74. Don't quote
He's
me.
actually
Oh,
old.
we
I
got,
feel
we
like
got
he's
Nick
older.
on the
Alright.
fact-checking laptop right now.
I've
Bernie
always
Sanders
said,
is currently 75 years old.
wow.
If he gets, let's say hypothetically he wins the election in fucking 2020, he would be oh god, let's do some math here.
I was gonna say Nick is not too good at math, guys.
Yeah, he would be a solid, a sprightly 79 years old.
There you go. That's correct.
If anyone tells you that we're not ruled by a gerontocracy, they're wrong. So yeah, Bernie Sanders has a podcast. The revolution will be podcasted. What do you guys think of that?
I'm ready.
I'm a big fan.
I think it'd be good to start spreading some class consciousness among the.
And by class
listeners.
conscious,
Is
he
Bernie
means
Sanders class conscious?
I think so.
maybe.
He's the one.
I mean, he rails against the 99% has.
Well, that's class consciousness right there.
Well, not necessarily.
Well, it's
Yeah, I mean, he might not use
beginner level.
He might not use the rhetoric of like
Well, yeah,
Marx.
It'd be
but at
like-
least he's acknowledging that there is a very large gap between the upper
not
class
to use,
and
not
the
to fall
proletariat.
back on using fucking nonsense buzzwords, but it kind of like left populist, where it's like
Yeah, he
not
is
necessarily with like that class conscious like tone.
He's
but,
very nationalistic in his left leanings.
yeah.
Well, I mean, you gotta start somewhere.
Maybe true.
You have to come to terms with the fact that you might not like it, but this is like basically the best the left in America can come up with at this point in time.
That's true.
Barely. The left,
Barely, it's
I don't think the left even supports him.
Well,
No,
okay,
the left.
The left does.
Yeah.
The neoliberals and the globalists, maybe not so much. I mean, it's a weird thing. Like, obviously, Bernie Sanders is actually a Russian agent who was sent to take Bernie Bros and exploit their innate racism and
What?
sexism to not vote for Hillary
They
Clinton.
I just
turned
wanna
the
say-
entire constituent into a botnet that pillaged Hillary's campaign.
Bernie Bros actually literally killed Hillary Clinton's campaign. Thanks, Bernie Bros.
When Nick says Bernie Bros, I can only picture like My Little Pony and just Bernie's face on this ponies. I I may be wrong, but
And then immediately after the election, they all turned into Nazis.
Yeah, no, remember, Bernie Bros simultaneously are Russian hacktivists. They are Bolsheviks who are trying to destroy American democracy, and at the same time,
They're also sexist.
They're also sexist and alt-right trumpets.
Wasn't there a sector of Bernie's supporters that actually flipped to Trump because they could not stomach voting for him?
Yeah, and that was the one thing that...
There was like 3 guys who did that.
I mean, that was the stupidest hot take after the fucking...
well, actually, Bernie Sanders lost the Democrats the election, even though fucking Bernie Sanders won the fucking primaries in all the states that Hillary lost.
Are they not to harp back on something that happened like a couple months ago? The fact that like people are like, oh, if only the Libertarians and the Green Party had voted with the Democrats, and I'm like, listen, that's like literally saying like, oh, I didn't get the donut I wanted, I'm just gonna drink bleach instead.
Yeah, they're like, well, all these people thought our candidate was really shitty and a fucking warhawk and actually wasn't going to do anything to better their lives personally, and they fucking were obliged to actually vote for her by virtue of her not being Donald Trump. Look, it's fucking stupid.
If the Democrats didn't want to lose, why the fuck did they rig their own primary?
Yeah, I mean, it's comical. Like, I mean, if you look back at it, Bernie Sanders, his biggest support was in states like Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, all these fucking blue-collar fucking swing states where you actually have to win the fucking presidency. And Hillary did absolutely nothing.
She thought she was entitled to those states.
Yeah, because she thought she was entitled to the Obama coalition.
Yeah, which she clearly wasn't. Like, I mean, if you want to actually have working-class people vote for you, you have to give them things other than...
America's already great, guys.
Come on, man.
Yeah, actually, I understand that you kind of have, like, a shit job, high unemployment.
Your brother just died of an opioid overdose.
Yeah, but no, America's already great, and you're obliged to vote for us, and in return, we're going to give you nothing in return.
Wait, you get dog shit.
You guys get gay marriage that I supported 3 years ago.
Yeah, 3 months ago, actually. Yeah, Hillary Clinton.
My official Hillary Clinton Foundation TM focus group said I should support gay marriage, so therefore I am, as you can say, very queer.
Yeah, and if you ever had any doubts as to the true allegiances of the Democratic Party, think about how the guy that was mobilizing fucking the working class, which was supposed to be the base of the Democratic Party, got the fucking DNC chair and all her fucking cronies to come out and do everything they could to prevent him from becoming the nominee. And in return, we ended up with this Wall Street hack who has fucking zero ties to any regular warm-blooded American. Here is a lizard. She does not have warm blood.
You can. Half of the people in this room are lizards.
Yeah, sure. We're actually all just computers run by Russia.
Oh, holy shit!
Fuck,
guys, do you want to give us some game theory now?
You guys cannot imagine how much money I would pay to get a tape of Hillary's, I guess, like, campaign room the night of the election.
Oh, she was probably like, guys, I don't feel so well, I'm gonna fall over.
She was in the corner vomiting as the results were coming in.
She's like, why don't they like me?
Yeah.
It does not compute.
See, it's kind of like actually glorious, I think, to see just the Democratic and Republican parties just completely crumble under the weight of their own fucking balls. It's cool. It's pretty great. We truly are living in the next great era of America.
Dude, whoever says two-party systems don't work is clearly wrong.
Yeah, clearly.
It's not even a two-party system at this point. It's a light authoritarian system where like there's like the veil of choice, but in reality, any third party that attempts to gain some kind of foothold immediately has the rules changed.
Yeah, and that's not an endorsement for like fucking like Jill Stein or whatever. Like she's a
fuck her. She doesn't even believe in vaccines.
Yeah, no, that too. And also like the fucking Green Party. Where are they in fucking non-presidential elections? If you actually were dedicated to providing some sort of
try and like elect people to like lower offices instead of this hubris intention to like get yourself elected president.
Yeah, it's basically all the people who fucking fried their brains on acid in the 60s just come together every 4 years and they're like, hey man, fucking make it happen this year, 2016.
Which is the official position of the Pseudoadult podcast, is that the acid movement in the 70s crippled the leftist movement in America.
That's why drugs are haram. Allah knew that drugs are the biggest step away from universal health care, and that's why you should stop doing drugs.
I can't wait for the next right-wing celebrity to come out and announce their 2020 presidential race.
Kanye, hell yeah,
dude! I could see easily, and he would get Trump's. Trump would even back him up. Even though if Trump was running again for second term, he would still back up Kanye and say, "You guys should vote for him."
I don't know, man. I think his Southern strategy controllers are gonna come out a bit hard if Kanye actually does decide to run. It's fucking pathetic. Fuck. Should we wrap it up?
I think we're at time at this point.
All right, guys.
So, that was
I'm gonna plug the socials real quick. This has been the first episode of the Pseudoadult podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed it. You can find us on SoundCloud. We're gonna post this on SoundCloud. We're probably gonna post this on YouTube as well. You can reach us at on Twitter at the Pseudoadultcast. We'll probably set up a Patreon, but like, fucking, why would you?
Don't pay for this shit.
Yeah,
This is horrible.
Why would you give us money?
Stop it.
If
man.
I could devil advocate once again, if you pay us, we can get better microphones. You don't have to listen to the shit quality of a podcast.
Oh my god.
You can listen to shit in high def.
Come back and set yourself a Google reminder. In like 2 months, come back, see how the shit's doing, and if you like it, give us $5 a month.
I think for our $10 a month contributors, we will give them a calendar, but it would be us posing shirtless for each month.
Christ.
You can follow me, Joseph, at Archduke Ting. That's Ting. Do you guys got anything you want to plug? Any projects?
I got no projects, so thanks for listening, guys.
Hell yeah.
We'll see you next time.
Woo! Woo! Woo!
Pseudoadult podcast.
Finish it up.
Alright, who wants to edit this shit?
100 years, Rick and Morty.